So let me give you another example and another metric of how we in New England are kind of on an island expecting big things out of Drake Maye. It doesn't mean it won't happen. Just means the expectation out there for Drake Maye
is low.
It's pretty low. These are DraftKings odds. The over-under for Drake Maye this year, yards passing. 3,250.5. So 3,250 yards and a half. That's minus 115.
3,250. So last year, 19 quarterbacks in the NFL threw for over that.
Okay. So you'd put him somewhere in the top 19 if he hits the over.
I think he will. And I don't think he necessarily smashes the over. So I was looking at this too, and I know it's a different offensive coordinator, but it's the same head coach. When Mike Vrabel was in Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill basically had 3 good years. He had the 1 year where he took over, so he didn't even start 17 games. Then he had a 16-game 2020 season where it was statistically his best year, and then he also went 12-5 in 2021. So there's like a 3-year run for Tannehill. He went 2,700 yards passing, but again, not in as many games. 3,800 and 3,700.
Okay. So that's a good bar, assuming he's healthy, which maybe this is representative of Maye. It's a hedge against his health. He left 2 games, partially left 1 and left the other early last year. So maybe it's a hedge against him just not playing a full season, but that feels like a low yardage total, right?
It does. Because I feel like if he plays, and I guess it's a huge if he ends up playing 17 games, do you know what that equates to per game? 3,250?
Yeah, like under 200 yards a game. Yeah,
191 yards.
Yeah,
on average. So even if he has 1 300-yard game, like you don't need many. You don't even need to. You literally don't need a 200-yard game all season
to get to that
hit that number. So I think that's all about health. I think if he just plays, even if they are a run-first team and a run-second team, it's still 2025 in the NFL. You're going to throw for over 3,000 yards.
How about Drake Maye's over-under for touchdowns? That is 19.5, Keefe. Juice is on the over, minus 120, but they have it set at 19.5. How many quarterbacks did that last year?
18. So it's the same number. I don't know if it's the same number. I don't know if it's the same guys necessarily, but 18 quarterbacks. So more than half the league. And then you could probably make the case that some of the guys that just missed, didn't play the games. So like Tua, for example, is the next guy down. He had 19 touchdowns in 11 games. So if Tua played 1 more game, he's another guy that's 20. So I would any quarterback like we were talking about before with starting pitchers, at any minute, any of those guys could go down. Obviously, the quarterbacks are protected, but still, I mean, there are big hits all the time and whatever else, and there are injuries. And Drake Maye himself had to leave a couple of games due to injury. But I don't think it's even that great of a season. If he goes for 3,250 with 20 touchdowns, it could look gross, and he could still put up those numbers.
Now, maybe they're winning games by running the football and playing defense, and he's protecting the football, and they win 10 games. Tell me how the games look and what their record is, and maybe I'll feel different. I mean, if he has all those numbers with 25 picks, right. I'm going to feel a lot different.
I would take the over on both of those.
Me too.
And then real quick on Tannehill's touchdowns, and they had Derrick Henry. So they were running the ball a lot. Ryan Tannehill threw for 22, and that was, again, not in a full season. Then 33, and then 21. So he was always over 20 touchdowns.
All 3 of those, even when he didn't play a full season. Right. And 33.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that for Ryan Tannehill.
He was pretty good that year.
That was peak Tannaissance
That
time.
was Tannaissance,
really was a full-blown Tannaissance.
That was also COVID.
So
take that for what it's worth.
Not real stats, Keefe?
No, stats count.
The stats count.
Stats count. They played in real stadiums. They didn't go to a bubble inside Disney World to play.
Were they full stadiums that whole year?
No, but like the actual Tennessee stadium they played in.
Yeah. No fans.
They didn't play in a quarantine zone in Disney World.
No, I mean, they might have played against the defense that had half their defense quarantined. But
maybe.
Okay.
You never know what was going around.
So, Matt, just to put it in perspective, Mac Jones is a rookie. He was a rookie. This is Drake Maye year 2.
Yep.
Same offensive coordinator, though.
Daniels, so.
Josh to Josh. Mac Jones threw for 3,800 yards, 3,801, and 22 touchdowns.
Yeah, so, how is Drake Maye not hitting the over on these?
He played all 17 games. I do wonder if those DraftKings numbers are a hedge against his health because he hasn't. He didn't survive. He barely even played. He sat the last game of the year against Buffalo. He played a series.
But when you look at those, even for
he played another game in relief, and then he left a game early against the Jets, and he left another game for a stretch against the Chargers and came back.
I guess what I'd have to do is I have to go look up some other injury-prone quarterbacks and see what their numbers are, and maybe it's similar. Maybe they're over-unders. Maybe they're
you just
low.
had it with Tua.
What's Tua's?
Oh, I thought because 19 touchdowns and he missed a bunch of games.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was last year. Oh, yeah, so I guess that's one we can look up. But I don't know. I feel like even like the sharp better or the non-Drake Maye, non-Patriots fan, if they're looking at some of these football futures, are they hammering the under on those Drake Maye bets, being like, he's going to get hurt?
It is
like,
plus money. Unders plus money.
All right, so maybe that's what they're betting. But like, how I don't know how you go to a season being like, this guy throws 1 touchdown a game and then has like 2 in a game. It's like, and then he hits his over. Like, it's really not that big of a leap. Like, you have to be betting on injury. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Like, how many games played is basically what you're betting on. Over under games played, which is super fun.
Would you bet on Drake Maye playing 17 games? I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I guess I would. I think that you should get plus money for that because it's a quarterback in the league. But I mean, I feel like it could happen. I mean, Mac Jones played 17 games that year. A lot of guys played 17 games.
It definitely could happen. But like, I don't know how many quarterbacks survived the year. Like, how many quarterbacks do you see getting replaced? They're not all Tom Brady, which we're used to. I probably wouldn't wager on that. But regardless, I would bet on all those overs.
I think I got 14 quarterbacks played 17 games last year.
Okay.
So half
the league.
Let's call it half. I mean, a little slightly under half.
And a guy who runs a lot. By the way, there is a prop for Drake Maye, his rushing yards. And this is some hidden production in there, right? Like, maybe part of the reason the pass yards would be a little lower for him than even somebody like Mac as a rookie is because he's projected to run for 426 yards.
Yeah.
Okay?
And real quick, one of the guys that didn't play 17 was Mahomes, who they sat. So, let's call it half the league will play every game at quarterback. They do protect the quarterback. And I guess you got to ask, will Drake Maye protect himself? I know there's some debate on should he dive head first, should he slide, whatever he should do. But like that's where he ran into some issues last year.
But I've heard Scheim and Greg and Chris and everybody talking about this. If Drake puts up Mac Jones's rookie year numbers, call it 3,822 touchdowns. I think Mac, I just backed out of it. I think he threw 13 picks, QB rating of like 92.
Yeah.
They win 10 games. They're in the playoffs.
Games. That's a good year.
I do think it's a good year, and I think it is fair to say I would feel better about Drake Maye putting up those numbers than Mac. I guess we got to see it, but I just feel better about Drake Maye's tools. I feel better about the upside of him.
It's the same debate as Garrett Crochet, Cutter Crawford. Like Cutter Crawford looked good, but you're like, I don't know if this is sustainable. Like I don't know if he's going to be able to do this the whole time. Right. Whereas like Crochet and Drake Maye are like, all right, I see that, even if the numbers are similar. I mean, Tanner Houck. Put Tanner Houck's numbers up from last year. They were good. Like really, especially first half numbers were really impressive. But I'm with you on that. I think what we learned was Mac Jones' rookie year ended up being his ceiling. Whereas with Drake Maye, if he has those numbers year 2, you're like, all right, that's a good foundation.
That's exactly how I'd feel about it. I would feel better about Drake Maye going into year 3, call it, if he put up the same numbers as Mac Jones his rookie year. Because Drake Maye could be Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. He could be on that trajectory because he is that type of athletic specimen with a big arm who's also mobile. Mac was none of those things. Mac was undersized with no arm strength and, threw short, never pushed the ball downfield, wasn't athletic. Mac was none of those things. And so I would feel pretty good if Drake Maye reached those numbers. And I think those numbers are attainable. Then you look at the over-unders on DraftKings, and you look at lists like CBS Sports.
Suckers better buying opportunity.
Jeremy Fowler's going through all these different positional groups this week at ESPN. He's already ranked running backs, Keefe. I think there were 22 running backs who received a vote. No Patriots were on the list.
Yeah, that checks out.
He went through the D tackles today. No Barmore, no Milton Williams.
How's Milton Williams not on there?
I know he's not. There were 21 names on that list. Didn't receive a vote. As a top defensive tackle.
For Milton Williams?
Not one single vote.
He was like the biggest free agent signing.
So I imagine you're going to get to Drake Maye as well, and the quarterbacks whenever he gets to it later this week, next week, whenever Fowler gets to it.
He shouldn't be on there.
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so, there's 20 names showing up on all these lists, and so it's just a way to illustrate. I think here in New England, we're all pretty bullish on Drake Maye. We are on a bit of an island when it comes to that.
Yeah, we are.
That doesn't mean the consensus can't be wrong.
Right.
But the consensus is Drake Maye is going to be, I don't know, the 22nd quarterback in the league, not even a top 20 QB.
Yeah. And I wonder with some of these projections, is it a lot? I think health is definitely a big factor of it. But the other stuff is, are they not convinced on him, or are they really pointing to the receiver group and be like, that's trash? Like, you put Justin Herbert on this team. Like, what is he doing? Or you put, maybe not somebody as good as him, but somebody else that we know is a consistent, like, middle-of-the-road quarterback. What are they doing with maybe Steph Diggs, Mac Hollins, Hunter Henry, and, like, that group? Like, that obviously isn't going to speak. Although, Mac Jones' rookie year wasn't exactly thrown to Moss and Welker.
No.
So, I mean, he should be able to hit the over on those numbers, even with the receiving core that he has.
And again, just to illustrate that, you mentioned it, the issues around Drake Maye on offense. He's going to have to overcome that. I'm not going to sit here and blame weapons if Drake Maye doesn't have better numbers this year. He should win more games. He should have better numbers.
Yeah, it's definitely better than it was a year ago, but that's also a low bar.
But it's 30th on Bill Barnwell's list that came out today.
Yeah.
Again. Buffalo 28, by the way, on that list.
No, I'm telling you.
Not good weapons.
A very famous would you rather question from a few weeks ago was the Bills receivers or the Patriots receivers?
We both took the Patriots.
Yeah.
Bill Barnwell didn't.
All right, Bill. Well played.
Well, score what we outvote him. We outvote him 2-1.
In your face, Bill.